I think I have a very different idea of what home is to most people because I grew up moving a lot. So I was born in Taiwan, but we moved to China when I was 3. And then for like a decade, we were just moving back and forth like every other year. So during that time, I think I was quite confused by where I belong. But now I realize home is just wherever I have people that I love, wherever I have things that I love. And to me, there can definitely be more than just one place that I call home.
I don't know where it was taken, but I feel like me and my sister have always had like a really good relationship. Like we don't really argue. I mean, we used to like when we were kids, we used to like fight, but it would be like normal like sibling stuff. But now like we just get on really well. So I like to have her like on my wall with me because I think like no matter what like emotion you're feeling, if you have something sentimental with you, you will be able to connect to it like in any way. Like if you need comforting, then it's fine. If you're like, I don't know, tired, then it will like be there with you. Because your home is like your place where you feel like it's your home, but if you kind of try and bring things with you, it's more like it's an easier way to settle into like a new environment.
Even if my environment changes or like the people around me change or like what I'm doing changes, my wardrobe has been the same for so long. It gets added to, but like the core pieces that mean something to me stay. There's also like a sense of like wearing clothes from when my parents were at art school and at the phase that I'm at now. I think like I often feel really stressed that I'm doing everything wrong and that like I don't know what I'm doing and it's all gonna be like awful. So then like to wear the stuff that they wore when they were in my position kind of gives me this sense of like it's going to be okay because like I'm just at that part of my journey and like look at where they are now. Like I'm so proud that they're my parents. Like it kind of gives me this weird sense of like it's going to be okay. Like it means that instead of feeling like stressed about where I am in life and like the point that we're at, I'm more like then feel very nostalgic of a time that I never knew, but like a time in their lives. Like I feel nostalgic for like their youth.
I didn't grow up in Australia, but Australia feels the most comforting to me. And you can't really go to a beach or go to a body of water anymore here. But definitely my morning rituals are completely influenced by my parents. I mean, every morning, like coffee for my parents was more than just like a drink. It was a way to unwind in the morning and to set yourself up. And it was also a symbol of like, this is your day off by having a slow morning. So then like every morning that I have a slow morning, I actually sit here and you're having your coffee and you're reading or you're doing like puzzles or something like that, but just a way to like maintain the lazy energy while kind of fueling yourself up for the start of the day. And that, I mean, is completely dictated by what my parents have been doing growing up. Yeah.
First moved to London, I wanted not my room at home, but I wanted the pieces of home that I loved to come with me. But in reality, I think you spend like these 2-3 years paving out a new space and filling it with new things, new memories. And in reality, I guess I don't fill my space that much with necessarily reminders of home, but I suppose more like I think more reminders of like who I've become from leaving home. I was like, you need to change your face. And it just stayed the same the whole time. Yeah, so it was just like, you literally just, he was like, I don't know what to do. So cute. Beyond lucky that I have been able to move away and explore all these new like things for myself. Always massively struggled with change, and being able to like hold on to things and document things I think makes transitions easier for me, even if it's in small ways. So I've got so much footage of like the most mundane things to like holidays and exciting things that you would naturally think to record, but it is those videos of just like me and my boyfriend having food in the house or me and my friends out in the car that I love more than like holiday clips, because it's, I think, the moments you're more likely to forget, and it's not until I watch it back that you kind of like get all of those, like, it's not sad feelings, it's just it's like positive sad and positive emotions of like you're not there anymore, but you're so happy that you've got it captured and like still have it to reminisce on.
Today I realized how much his dad's mean to me, because I collect all of my stuff there. Like my boyfriend thinks it's very cluttered, but it's not cluttered, it's just in my way. I just think it's just things that I can see, so it reminds me. And one thing he points out is that my desk kind of looks like my room in Taiwan, which is just a bunch of stuff, but like it's kind of organized in a way. So yeah, I do think like they help me feel more like my identity is here. Like I actually live here instead of just visiting.
So I've curated my uni room with, it's basically like a bunch of reminders of home. One thing that I always think about is I put it right next to my bed so I can see it every night before I go to sleep, every morning that I wake up. And it's basically, before I moved to London, me and my like childhood best friend, we live in like a tiny little village, and we went to like our local pub like that we always used to go to as like the last time before I moved to London, and we were talking about like dream homes, and she was like, "Oh, Gracie, you're gonna become like a famous artist now, like I feel it." And I was like, "Yeah, because you know I love that." And then and then she was like, "Oh, I just want like a little farmhouse." And I was like, "Oh, I want to build like my own like organic house." And she was like, "I don't understand." So I drew it on the back of the receipt from the pub that night, and I just love it. I don't know why. It just really, it reminds me of home. It reminds me of my childhood best friend. And it reminds me of like what I'm doing here, like, you know, what I'm like aiming for, and like, so I like to look at it every morning and every evening.
Gonna put it in now, I think. Good sizzle. Most of my memories of home is in smell and in taste. So I always remember like waking up in the morning and smelling whatever my mom is cooking in the kitchen for breakfast. Basically, not to yap, but my grandma also moved around a lot when she was a kid because of the there was war and there was the revolution in China. So it was the same for her. The only thing she could bring with her was the recipes from home. And so when she misses home, she would cook that for us. And she would tell us like, "Oh, this is what my mom used to make for me. This is what my dad liked to eat." So she's never taught me how to make anything. I kind of just watch her. And I feel like if you eat something enough and you watch someone make it enough times, you eventually go up like, okay, I need to add this. I need to add that. And so, yeah, I make recipes from home. I think it's a big thing in our family because, yeah, again, both of my grandparents had to immigrate from China to Taiwan. So that was one of the only things they could bring. And then my dad went to culinary school in Switzerland, did lots of things. So he also loved cooking. And I guess I'm very similar to my grandparents. And so for me, now I'm living here, I'm like, oh, I guess I cook stuff from home. It's the easiest way to feel like to make the homesickness shut up. Yes.
I also think like you're allowed to have different senses of home. You're allowed to have multiple homes, and like home is always spoken about as like a singular, like a singular place or a singular feeling, or like it kind of is, yeah, you think of it that way.